Alright guys, come on in, sit down, and let's talk too much. We are on part 3 of our home buying series, and in this one I'm going to go over some numbers. It's going to be a little boring, but it's very important information to be able to have a goal for the future. So right now I want to ask you, what are you willing to sacrifice to reach your goal? Because we're going to start looking at some real numbers, and some of them are going to be way higher than what you're probably expecting, but that's okay. Because you need to have that goal. Once you have the goal and you know where you're going, you can start making steps towards it. But you are going to have to ask yourself, what am I willing to not have? If you can live a Spartan lifestyle, great. You're going to be able to save up much quicker. Now, if you can't and you have to have all of these luxuries, it's going to take you forever, possibly never. And I wanted to say that up front so that you could kind of mentally prepare yourself as you're going through this and looking at these numbers. But I want to also, in maybe the next couple of videos, we're getting there, give you some ideas on what you could do in order to minimize your expenses and monthly expenses. But right now, before we go over the numbers, I want you to think ahead and be like, hey, I'm going to have to make sacrifices. Maybe I can't go to the movies every week. Maybe I have to give up Netflix. I can't eat out. I have to cook for myself. Go through every possible cost-saving things you can. And these are very doable numbers. Just keep that in mind and don't lose heart. Stay strong. I'm going to do everything I can to break it down for you, but you can do this. It's not impossible. It's just going to be difficult. I just wanted you to understand that you might have to give up a couple of things and be willing to make sacrifices up front so that at the end of this, you have the reward that is the house you're looking to buy. Now is we're going to look at some numbers. I'm going to try to keep this video pretty short. I think I'm just going to show you a couple things that I did earlier. I've already done research, so you don't have to watch me go through everything. But I'll give you an idea of kind of how I looked it up, and so you can kind of modify this for yourself to find out what numbers you think would work better for you. What I'm going to do is I've looked this up, and we're going to try to find the maximum house you can buy with a maximum down payment, right? We're going to look for the highest and best first. And obviously when you go to find your houses, you can lower it and customize it to what you need. So what I've done is I fiddled with these numbers before and found if you do a $300,000 house and $100,000 down payment, you can get most houses to about $1,500 a month. $1,500 a month is going to be very good, because if I click over here, you can see the average one bedroom in America for an apartment is about $1,500 to $1,600. And so that's why I chose that number. So if you can find a house, a whole house, with 2 bedrooms, 2 baths that you own for the price of a rent of a 1 bedroom, I feel like you're doing pretty good. So that's why I chose about $1,500 a month. And as I was doing these numbers and looking around, I found $300,000 for $100,000 is going to be right about where you want for a $1,500 a month payment, and that's not bad. So one thing that's going to affect this substantially is what the property tax is. In this case, it's $131 a month. Home insurance, $105 a month, and then if there's any HOA, is going to be, I've seen $50 to $800 a month, right? So these are things you're going to want to look at when you're later on when you're actually trying to buy a house. But for right now, these are the numbers I found that will get you into a fairly decent house, especially depending on the state you want. Then, if you go search for a house in your area, it's going to bring up a map over here. You'll click on Clear Boundaries and scroll all the way out. Now that we've got our click on this, put in your 300,000, boom. Now you can see where the properties are going to be that you can afford. You can see over here on the West Coast, not too many. East Coast, quite a bit. And you got to, it's pretty good. So now you can kind of look at what states you're going to be looking at. If you want to live specifically in Nevada, There's not too many, right? If you want to live over here in Pennsylvania, you've got quite a few. So now you can kind of look at different states and see what you want. But if you're just like, hey, my home is XYZ, you can also just look in that state. So let's say you're only looking in Nebraska. Here you go. Narrow it down. Over here, I want to look in Nebraska. Boom. There's quite a few houses just in Nebraska City, right? So you have options, and that's why I like the homes.com thing, is because then you can kind of look in what area you want. It's got the calculator. You can kind of look at your own numbers. But for now, for this series, I'm going to shoot for saving up $100,000. $100,000? That's not possible, right? Yes, it is. In this situation, you're young, you're just coming out, and you're just starting to get a job, right? Go get yourself a good job, work up in the job. You can do it. 5 years, $20,000 a year, $1,666 a month, $833.33 paycheck, right? It's kind of extreme. If you can get a good enough job where you can do that, you could definitely do it in 5 years. But realistically, maybe a 10-year plan. If you're coming out of it at 19, you're only 29 when you buy a house. That's really young. I got mine at 28. That's really young. I got lucky though. We went over that in another video. 10 years, you're looking at $10,000 a year, $833.33 a month, or $416.66 a paycheck. If you can reach those numbers, maybe it'll be faster, maybe it'll be slower. It's okay. Just kind of figure out where you would be on that timeline and grind at it. Just keep putting into it. And if you just keep working at it, keep going, you'll get there eventually. And then before you know it, you're at a position where you're looking to buy a house and you've moved on to the next stage. Also, don't forget that while you're doing this, because if you're going to do it for 5 years or 10 years, invest. Take that money and put it in whatever you like. Do your research. I'm not a financial advisor, but you can put it in stocks, you can put it in bonds, you can put it in CDs and high interest savings accounts. Those are 4 different options, and let's say you're doing the 10-year path because that's all you can afford at the moment. The interest on that is going to build at such a rate that within 10 years of you saving this money, you're probably going to get there significantly quicker. I don't know how long it would be, but let's just say instead of 10 years, it's 7. That's 3 years early. Don't forget to invest that money. It's going to save you a lot of time as well. So yeah, thanks for watching the video. Stick on the path, make a plan. You're going to get there. I'm rooting for you. I'm on your side. This was Talk Too Much. I know it was going to be short. I talk too much. That is what it is. Thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe if you can. And I will see you next time for part 4.